now, so I'll check my
Okay.
page, make sure you guys are live and all that good stuff.
Okay.
Tell me when we're on.
You
Yeah.
are on. You're on and popping.
Yeah.
All right.
But I want to
Oh.
check the page, make sure everything's good there.
Yeah.
Feel free to say hi to all the viewers out there.
Hey everybody.
Hello, how are you doing this morning?
We're gonna have a good show. Good episode with Will.
Oh, excited to be here.
So feel free to check your phone for his stream, and then you can
Okay.
share it to your stream, and just
Like
that way. Yeah.
right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, sweet.
And I'll check
How many
YouTube.
how many iPads are we doing?
Oh,
Is
there
this
it
the one
is.
with the timer?
Yeah. I think it's already good to go.
It's well the screen is not. Yeah.
Unfortunate.
There it is. Make sure it's public.
I feel like we have too much technology going on right here.
There's a lot of technology going on. We're on my Facebook now too.
Okay.
All right. So that's you on YouTube, and then I will put the timer on.
Awesome.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us on another episode of Joe Knows. I'm here with Will Mansour. He's a CPA. Will, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, you are. I'm a CPA, owner of WJM CPA, boutique CPA firm specializing in tax services and consulting. Shall I go further? Or
Yeah.
yeah, so we're a full service accounting firm, primarily focused on tax consulting, planning. Yes, of course, we file tax returns and do the preparation, but we like to take a holistic approach, to our tax planning and service our clients more than just once a year. We don't want you just stopping in once a year to do your tax return. We want to talk to you multiple times throughout the year as your businesses change or individuals also maybe have a life changing event. We want to be there for you all year round, to discuss taxes, to discuss accounting, and I like to say we like to look at our clients as their tax and accounting partner. We want to be more than just again your tax preparation that you see once a year. So, full service accounting firm specializing in taxes.
So how can people contact you?
So I'm all over all the social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. You can reach me directly at my office, 248-956-1812. Again, 248-956-1812, or our Instagram handles are all WJMCPAPLLC. You might have noticed me, or hopefully have, on my Tax Tip Tuesday videos I do every Tuesday. Just trying to share knowledge and share wisdom about taxes and anything related to your tax situation.
Yeah, you gotta love those Tax Tip Tuesdays videos. They're good because you give a little bit of insight of a tip that people should know about or accommodate for in their taxes.
Absolutely. The goal is to try to keep it short. It's so hard on any tax topic to put it in a minute, or sometimes, as my wife makes fun of me and says, it's longer than a minute. I can't even watch it, but it's, there are so many similar to your profession, legal profession. There's so many um, facts in a situation that can change the outcome. So I just try to keep it brief, keep it short, keep you interested. And I always say you can reach out to me. Happy to take phone calls. I usually do a free half-hour consultation in our first meeting, just to discuss your situation and make sure we're a good fit, to work together, because we take a little bit of a different approach, and we like to educate our clients and make sure our clients are involved in our services, rather than just again kind of just say drop off your material and we'll get you your tax return done. So
Right. Okay. So you said make sure you're a good fit. So who are you looking for to be a good fit? What would you say that who that would be?
Yeah, so I get questioned all the time because people think I only work with businesses, but I do work with individuals on just a 1040 basis. Um, there may not be as much tax planning depending on your situation. If you're, more of a basic W-2, but I don't say no. We do 1040s, but primarily I would say small businesses and their owners is where we can provide a lot of value and tax planning and savings. So small business owners, kind of among all industries. I've got clients, you name it, in a lot of different, a wide range of industries. Naturally, I've kind of grown a focus in real estate, restaurants, and professional service firms, whether that be attorneys, doctor, dentist, medical practices. Um, so revenue is a hard number to capture because I've seen very large revenue companies, and I can't really say a cap on of 50 million or less. I don't feel, but usually if you operate in more than 5 states, you're probably not a good fit. But 5 states or less, running a small business, anywhere from startups who have zero in income to probably 15 to 20 million is the sweet spot. But we've got outliers in all of that.
Yeah.
So.
So I know you mentioned 1040 a few times. I know what that is, but can you explain it to people that might not know that?
Yes, thank you for clarifying. I see these forms every day. So 1040 is just the form you file for an individual tax return. So your annual return that you file every year for individuals.
Okay. And when you have somebody come talk to you, when should they come talk to you? And what should they prepare for you so that you can give them proper advice?
So the best time to come to me is yesterday. I always, before an event occur, unfortunately I do meet with a lot of clients where something already happened. They already purchased a business or they already sold their house. And had we spoken before that transaction took place, we can advise you a lot better. We can structure things to benefit you the most from a tax perspective. So I like to tell my clients, if anything you're thinking has to do in the slightest chance have to do with taxes, reach out to me because I've seen too many times where people wait till it's done and I'll let my accountant handle after that. But there's so much benefit to being involved before a transaction occurs. For your regular tax return, you don't even get all your documents until January 31st. Brokerage statements not until February 28th. So, the sooner you can start gathering your documents, making appointments. But if you're thinking about starting a business, even before you start that business, I like to meet so we can discuss good record keeping practices. How do we, what's the best way to get your business set up for success from an accounting and tax perspective? So I love to meet with clients before they even open up that LLC or start the business.
Okay. So we have a question here. Um, is there a big disadvantage in not making quarterly payments versus one big tax payment at the end of the year?
Absolutely. Penalties and interest. If you are self-employed, or even if your W-2 doesn't cover enough in taxes, you're required to make evenly quarterly estimates throughout the year to the IRS, April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, and January 15th of the following year, um, to pay in your taxes, especially if you're self-employed and an employer is not withholding taxes for you. If you don't, penalties and interest. Um, 5% a month to the state of Michigan maxes out at 25% really quickly. That interest rates vary with the market, but the IRS does also penalize for not paying estimated payments. Now, there are ways if you own a business that we can get your taxes paid in not quarterly, and that's by running payroll. Maybe at the end of the year, which IRS looks at withholding from a payroll as if it was paid evenly throughout the year. So there are ways we can um, avoid having to pay quarterly estimates. But if you're self-employed and you don't have enough taxes taken out on a W-2, you want to pay those estimates quarterly, or else you will get penalized and pay some interest.
Okay. And I know that you do proactive planning, come to you yesterday. And I try to do the same thing for my clients. I usually tell them when major life events occur, whether you get married, divorced, have a baby, buy a house, get a business, stuff like that. I want them to come talk to me. I'm sure that's the same way for you. This is probably where we can talk about that step up in basis
Oh, great. Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, so step up in basis. This comes up a lot. There's a few different step up in basis, but we'll keep it to
Yeah.
inheriting property. Um, you know, God forbid your parents pass away, you inherit their usually the people's primary asset, which is their home, right? Their principal residence. Um, the IRS allows for what's called a step up in basis. So let's say your parents purchased a home for $100,000 20 years ago. Now it's worth $200,000, just for easy math. You would think, oh well, if I sold it for that 200 today, what it's worth, I have $100,000 gain, right? 200,000 minus 100,000. But with inherited property, you get what's called a step up in basis from the date of death. So at the value of the at the time when your parents were deceased, you can actually use that $200,000 value as your cost on the property rather than the 100,000 they paid. And what that does is basically it eliminates your gain and any taxes on the gain because now you're just selling for 200 minus 200 that step up in basis, you have no gain. You do have to report it. You're going to get a 1099-S, reporting the sale proceeds. So you got to make sure you report it properly. We recommend getting appraisal as soon as you can. I know it's busy after someone passes, but as soon as you can after they pass away, get an appraisal by a licensed appraiser as soon as you can to prove that if you ever do get audited, that the IRS has a document from an appraiser saying value is this, we're this close to date of death, this is the fair market value.
Yeah, so that's the tax portion of it. So from my standpoint with estate planning, people try to band-aid resolution, for the situation that they think of, which is, hey, me and my wife were on the deed, but God forbid if we pass away, we'll just put one of our kids on there. They'll disperse it to the other kids, whatever, this and that. Not just the problem with taxes on the step up in basis that you're ruining in that situation, but what happens like legally if the parents both pass away, then that one child gets the house and legally it's theirs. They do not have to share with the others because you thought that they were going to do that. That legally they're getting that house. The other thing too is, what if they have creditors? What if that child owes $100,000 to somebody? Now they can put a lien on the house. So a lot of people don't know their options when they are trying to protect their house from going to probate court. They try to band-aid it up. Sometimes I've seen parents only put a child's name on the house and then that child passes away before them unexpectedly.
Mm.
Now they have to go to court for their own house because they only thought of 9 out of 10 scenarios, but they missed the one that ended up happening.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents on that. But mostly the main one that usually comes up is a step up in basis that you're ruining in that situation. So I use Will's services for me and my business, and he's very helpful with whenever I have a tax question. I call him before I do anything so that I can understand what my options are and make an educated decision on what I would like to do rather than just doing it and then calling Will and saying, "Hey, I did this. How do we fix it?" Um,
Yeah.
so I would recommend calling him if you have any major life events. So if you get married, you get a new job, you change how much money you're making per year, you have a baby, buy a house, you get a business. Those are the ones that I can think of. I don't know if there's anything else I'm missing.
Those are the big ones
Yeah.
for sure. I don't know, did you mention buying a business?
Yeah.
You just said
Yeah.
sorry.
Start a business, buy a
Yeah,
business,
you
stuff like
know,
that.
you're
Selling a
looking to
business.
sell your business,
Yeah.
that's a big deal. How do you structure that to get the most tax, advantage benefits and minimize your tax liability? That's what it's all about within the law. We're not trying to do anything we can't do. We're just working with the law that's there, and that's those are some big ones for sure.
Right. And so, you know, there's a lot of CPAs out there. What are some things that you would say that you can add more value to the client?
Well, what I don't see, unfortunately, and you'd be surprised of how many CPAs just do your bookkeeping, run your payroll, and do your tax return. And I've kind of already mentioned that, but there's so much more to the tax world than that. You know, so many people that come across my firm are just not used to having somebody who they could call on a regular basis. They can that they're not just waiting till the end of the year. Like one thing we do, um, which I think every firm should do, but not a lot do, is year-end projections and tax planning. Come end of year, so that way when you go to file your return in the next tax season, you're not surprised. You have an idea of what your tax liability might be. We talk um, any tax planning, tax savings opportunities, like maybe purchasing equipment that your business needs. Um, just that year end review to say, hey, we had a good year, we had a bad year. What can we do um, to reduce our tax liability? So I think that's a big difference. Just surprised at how many CPA firms do not do that, and how important it is. And I just can't believe it. And I also see businesses that have been around forever that have not taken, simple elections like an S corporation election, that can really help save in, self-employment taxes. They've been filing for years as a single member LLC, and there are sometimes reasons why it doesn't make sense to be an S corporation, but that's a big one. Um, what else was I going to say? So the communication, that's what I was saying. I can't tell you how many people come to me, especially during the pandemic when businesses were struggling, businesses were dying, and they're like, I can't get my CPA on the phone. I need the PPP loan. I'm looking for that EIDL loan. I literally am calling for months and months and I can't get help. And that's so unacceptable to me. If you're paying for a service, you deserve that communication. You're going to hear from me. I say 24 hours, but it's usually less. It's usually within a couple hours, unless there's meetings or, sometimes busy days come up, but you're going to hear from me. You know, I might not always have the answer. It might be, hey, I'm still looking into this. I'm going to get back to you, or we might need to just further research something. But you need to hear from your CPA. We play such an important role in small businesses because, let's face it, a lot of small businesses can't afford a whole accounting package. If you talk about getting a CFO, a controller, an accounting manager, maybe a couple internal bookkeepers, $400,000 to $500,000 package. Not very many small businesses can afford to have an accounting team. So they rely on you as their accounting department. They rely on you as their tax expert. So that communication is so important. And unfortunately, I hear a lot of CPAs just say they're too busy and they don't communicate. That is just totally unacceptable. Communication is of utmost importance to us at our firm, and you will hear from us um, in a timely manner always.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Even a response that just says, "Look, I'm busy right now. I'll call you back in an hour." Some people don't even do that. It's
Yeah.
to me okay. So I'll tell you, for me recently, my brother-in-law has been trying to get a hold of me, and something. I was in a area where I did not have good cell phone reception, and he's like, "Did you get my text?" I'm like, "What text?" I wasn't getting his text. So
Mm,
now he knows that I answer right away. So he was concerned, like, "Why didn't you answer?"
yeah.
And I could be missing out on getting text from people, and they're probably like, "Who's this guy? Why is he not answering?" How do you know if the CPA got your message, is ignoring it, is not? Even just a response that just says, "Hey, I'm busy right now. I'll get back to you in an hour," or whatever, is great, because then it puts the client at ease. They know that you got the message,
Yeah.
that you're going to return the phone call when you can.
Always. I mean, even when it's an email that doesn't require a response, just sending me a text document that I needed. Okay, thank you very much. Got it.
Right.
People just want to see that, and I want to see that. With services I pay people for, just to know that you got it, or you're busy and you're looking into it. Um, you can't express how important that is.
Right. Um, what other aspects do you think, from a client's perspective, that they should be aware of generally with taxes, that people don't typically do or understand?
Um, it's funny. I think that one of the biggest things was actually one of the questions we got was quarterly estimates and paying your taxes in. A lot of people, prospective clients or new clients that come to me, don't know that they have to do that, because sometimes, and I've seen preparers and they don't even know, but they're just putting the penalties and interest on the tax return, and they're not knowing that they're incurring any penalties and interest because they just see a tax balance due
Yeah.
and they're just paying it. But a lot of people don't know that those quarterly estimates are required. Um, Good record keeping practices. Keeping a separate business bank account, as obvious as that may sound,
Yeah.
is so important, and keeping the expenses in their business, not personal. We're in a technology age. It's so easy to just, from your business account, right from your phone, transfer to your personal account. Don't make that personal purchase, out of your business account. Make a transfer, whatever it is, even if it's $100. Sometimes I'm just at Home Depot making a purchase and I got to do a small transfer. But keeping your expenses in your business account business is so important, because in the rare chance, yes, it's very rare, but if you do get audited, the IRS looks and says, all right, if you have all these business and personal expenses running through the account, how do I know what's business? How do I know what's personal? So it's so important to keep what's business in the business and personal away from it. Keeping your receipts, nowadays, and what we do at our firm is we're totally cloud based, so you can scan receipts, save them indefinitely, you can shred them after that, but keeping those receipts, um, and then just a good record keeping system. QuickBooks Online is the dominant force in small business accounting, and it's a great tool. Doesn't work for every business, but the majority of our clients are on the QuickBooks Online platform. Tracking all your expenses, because again, and some people come and just say, hey, I have a summary, I know my income and my expenses. But then if you were to go through and do transaction by transaction and really do the accounting, you'd be surprised at how many expenses you see get missed. And that's just tax dollars being thrown away. So I can't express how important it is to have a good accounting system. Make sure you're tracking. You do your monthly bank reconciliations, which a bank reconciliation basically just confirms everything I got that went through the bank account is in my QuickBooks software. I didn't miss an expense. I didn't miss $1 of income. Um, and that's just, I would just stop it there. That's some of the most important things that you should be doing as a business owner. Um, because again, in the rare chance you get audited, the IRS doesn't understand, a plain Excel document. They look for a general ledger, which your accounting software can pop out for you, bank reconciliations, and if they go a little further, they'll look at bank statements and receipts. But it's really important to have that. It's good for you. You do it on a regular basis. You can look at your business performance on a monthly basis. See, where did I maybe spend too much? Am I profitable this month? Am I not profitable? Um, you know, True profit is not just cash in your bank.
Oh yeah.
People always look in and say, yeah, I made a lot of money. My bank account is up. I can take out X. But people not thinking about their working capital that they might need for next month. What if the next month is not so strong? But keeping an eye on your numbers on a monthly basis, I can't express how important that is to do regularly.
Yeah. No, definitely keeping good record keeping with anything is good to have, and especially with taxes, because as soon as you miss something, the IRS is gonna be like, "Oh, what is this?" and then you're
Yeah,
gonna get screwed. So
nothing
I totally
bothers me more
understand
than
that.
a missed expense.
Okay.
I drives me crazy when a client, either the year's over or we're doing a free tax return review and they're saying, wait, I bought a car last year. I bought a trailer last year. Well, it's not on your tax return. You missed that expense.
Yeah.
So missing expenses kills me, because that's just tax dollars thrown away for no reason.
So why don't you give everybody your contact information again? How can they contact you?
Yeah, so you can reach me directly at the office, 248-956-1812, 248-956-1812. Um, um, my email is william@wjmcpa.com. If you want to email me, william@wjmcpa.com. All of our um, everything is branded WJMCPA. We're on Instagram, WJMCPA PLLC, LinkedIn page, Facebook, you name it. Hopefully, we're there. We try to keep a strong presence on social media and post regularly. Our website is WJMCPA.com. And you shouldn't be hard to find me. If you Google me, WJMCPA, we'll be there.
Yeah, I believe so, especially with all of those different social media platforms.
Yeah.
Um, so why don't we get to know you more personally? What do you like to do for fun, outside of doing taxes for 24/7 January through April,
Yeah.
and most
Through December
most of the time,
31st.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Most of the other times of the month,
Uh,
what do you like to do for fun?
oh well, I have to give the very important um, update. I told you I want to be the most downloaded podcast, the most viewed podcast. So hopefully you're watching now because we're going to be giving away a free car if
Oh,
you post here. Totally joking. Disclaimer: I don't want any lawsuits, but I got
yeah.
an attorney here. No, just kidding. We're not giving away a free car, but hopefully you you're watching. We
You could
love
give
to.
away a toy car or something,
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It
it
could
could be
be
a Lamborghini, right?
one of my son's Hot
You can
Wheels.
go, yeah,
Yeah.
you can go expensive on that.
So all right, so oh man, I could talk about myself forever. I don't want to bore you guys, but what do I do outside of taxes? People will laugh at me and make fun of me, and what I say is my passion is business, my sport is business, my love is business. I just love business. Ever since a young age, um, I've always had an interest in business, the business world. I'm not athletic by any means. I enjoy working out, although we could all do better there. But I've always just had a deep interest in um, the business world. I grew up, looking up to the Warren Buffetts. Donald, you can't say Donald Trump is question. It's a tough one to say now, but all the the big business leaders of the world. That's what I always grew up doing. I just always liked reading about business and wanted to be a businessman myself. So, um, I can thank my dad for instilling a work ethic. I mean, similar to a lot of people in our community. I mean, I say 8, but it's as far back as I can remember. I grew up um, working for my dad's business. I don't remember summer vacation. I remember summer work because every day was spent at his studio and his business and working. And then as not as far back, but since probably junior high and high school, it was every day after school, every weekend. Um, was working, and that's what I grew up doing. I didn't really play much sports. My dad really instilled a good work ethic in me. When I was younger, I probably didn't appreciate it so much. I wanted to go out and
Yeah,
hang
right.
out and do fun things like
Yeah,
all my other
same here.
friends were doing. But I grew up just doing a lot of work. So I have him to thank. He's my hero now. Maybe younger being mad at him and saying, "What? I got to work all the time," but he instilled the work ethic now that what I love to do is work. I grew up always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Thankfully, I can say I am. I own my own CPA firm. And then I was actually a college dropout at a point. So everybody sees all these degrees, bachelor's degree from Michigan State. I have a bachelor's degree from Michigan State University, a master's degree in finance from Walsh College. But at one point, I dropped out of college and I was just trying to pursue an entrepreneurial path. And what I found is my working every because I was going to college and not working, I say 24/7, but sure felt like that for my dad. It kind of just turned into working 100% of my dad's business, and I couldn't really. I feel like I wasn't just venturing off like I thought I would, maybe in some other business ventures or whatever. So, um, after I dropped out of college, and the one thing I really contributed to it, I dropped out of college, wasn't really feeling the school thing. And then the one thing I did change in my life was honestly going back to church, dedicating myself to God fully. And then all of a sudden, from a college dropout, at the flick of a switch, from just kind of regularly going back to church and practicing, um, it made me want to go back. And I said, you know what, I want the full college experience. I wanted to go away to school. I wanted to kind of live on my own and get that full experience. So I went back to community college full time, got my GPA up, transferred to Michigan State University. Um, and again, at that time, I didn't know I wanted to be an accountant, didn't know I wanted to be a CPA. It was just, I just knew I wanted to be in business. So I majored in business. I was finance at first. And then Michigan State has a really strong accounting school, and they made it sound like CPAs change the world. So, I changed my degree to accounting, and then I was on the CPA track. Best, besides getting married to my amazing wife and my 3 beautiful children, the best few years of my life at Michigan State. Great experience. I'll never forget. Now I have a story about my dad. So my sister went to Oakland University, local college. And when I told my dad, I said, "Dad, you know what? I'm going to go back to school and I'm going to go away. I'm going to have to step away from the business, and I really have to go, and I really want to go and pursue college. And they said, what do you mean? Why can't you just go to Oakland University like your sister? Like, I need you here at the business. And I had to make that hard decision to step away from my dad's business, which I grew up knowing. That's all I knew growing up. And so I did that. Great experience. Left Michigan State, went to Walsh College, got my master's degree. For people who don't know, you have to have 150 college credit hours to become a CPA. So I fulfilled that with getting my master's degree. And that's just one thing a lot of people say. They see all this education, they don't know that I was once a college dropout. And I just testament to show anything is possible. If you really put your mind to it. I'm big into mindset. I love following all the inspirational people, the Tony Robbins of the world, so many of them, the Gary V's. I think mindset is huge in success and determination. And I just remember, it's funny, actually, I was telling one of my staff how when I was studying for the CPA exam, I'm sure you've heard of like the Tech Fest. They used to call it Tech Fest, or EDM in Detroit. They do that tech festival.
Yeah.
I remember it was Memorial Day and I'm studying for the CPA exam, and my cousin was like, why don't you come out? What are you doing? You got to come out. And it's like, no, I was dedicated. I went all in to become a CPA. And I would say for the first 5 years, I didn't enjoy it. It was a lot of bean counting and Excel work and boring stuff. But as you learn the tax code and as you learn, it truly is, accounting is the language of business, as they say. I really found a passion and love for it. And I think what it did, what I do every day now is business. I'm constantly talking to my clients in different businesses, and anybody pursuing a CPA degree. I think that's what I say is, what we do is we talk business. I do business every day. It's, talking, maybe buying a business. How can I run my business more effectively? How can I save in taxes? It's just talking to business owners. So it's, it led to a true passion of mine, and what I enjoy to do every day.
Nice. No, that's a great story, because most people, when their parents have an established business, they get kind of roped into that automatically. If their parents don't like the business that they have, they keep you away from it. So I don't, like for me, my dad was stuck in the store since he was in 7th grade, and he did not let us in the store at all. So I don't know anything about doing anything in the store. So it goes on both sides of it. And we got pushed into just go to college, do anything, just don't go in the store. That's it. So
that's amazing.
it's different paths, but similar
paths.
kind of
But
results.
still, it's like you had the support.
Yes.
My mom always supported me going to college. She was scared about me going away, but she was like, well, at least he's getting a degree. And my dad, it was always, I don't know if I should say this is not a bad thing, Dad, but it's, he said, I know school is important, but business is what pays the bills. We got to work, so it was just, what he knew growing up was to instill work ethic. And I can't thank him enough, because, working long days, long nights, especially during tax season, it's something I'm used to doing. I've used to doing since a young age. So it just kind of made it an easier thing.
Yeah. So you talked about all these businesses and interests in business. I've had a lot of businesses that failed. I was part of a few different businesses.
Yeah.
Great ideas. It's just when you're younger, you don't have the experience that you need, the capital that you need, or access to capital at that time, whatever. So just like bad timing kind of thing.
Yeah.
Some of them were just not good ideas in the first
That
place. But
happens.
anyways, yeah.
I can name a few for myself also.
Yeah. So I was going to say, like, what businesses have you seen that are interesting, or that you're most proud of, or something like that you feel might be good to share?
Like my clients' businesses or businesses
just in
I'm in?
general.
I have multiple failed business ventures, also a lot of LLCs under my name that
Yeah.
didn't go anywhere. But what I see the most success in is the basics. A lot of people, maybe I don't have a lot of tech clients where they're creating some new innovation, but basic businesses, restaurants, real estate, things that have lasted the test of time. I mean, some people can make the argument for technology, but I think real estate has made more fortune than nearly any other industry, and it's real estate. Real estate's been around forever. I think it's, people who are on a path to becoming a doctor. That entrepreneurship, these doctors do very well, dentists running a practice, and they're very entrepreneurial. It's not just education. So I think what I see common in my successful clients and successful entrepreneurs is being grounded, just focusing on their business, taking care of their staff, which I think is so important. Um, you don't have to create a new great concept to create a business. You don't have to create something brand new and a new technology to reinvent the wheel. So many people have just created a business with a solid foundation of hard work, a solid foundation of work principles, and whether it's cutting grass, whether it's being in the restaurant industry. There is so much more, and launching my own practice, so much more to running a business than just the technical skill. You got to have the technical skill. I can't be a good CPA if I don't know taxes and I don't know the tax code. But there is the soft skills and the personal skills, and being able to sell yourself and being able to work with other people, and managing people, managing employees, and managing the business, um, managing your finances. So there's so many more aspects, and it's a difficult road, as you know, being a business owner. It's challenging. It's so fulfilling, though. I wouldn't have it any other way. Um, it's definitely the harder path. But if you're thinking about entrepreneurship, go for it. I mean, you got to have a plan. Cash is always king. People forget about, you do need cash to have a business. But you know, mindset, and you have a plan. Start on a side hustle. Maybe I shouldn't say this publicly, but I started my career. I didn't really talk about my career where I worked before I started my own practice, but I started my career at Big Four accounting firm, PwC, one of the biggest accounting firms in the world. Went to a couple middle market firms, and then I was at a small firm where I was a partner for the past 5 years. But I've been doing tax returns on the side ever since I started at PwC. And it was a grind. I wasn't married, I didn't have kids at that time, but I was able to, after 5 o'clock, keep working when I got home. Build that side hustle, build something. Um, while you have your regular job, don't be afraid to put in those extra hours, put in that time. And I've been building I've been practicing 10 years. I've really been building a book of business for 10 years. Yeah, I haven't been 100% dedicated because I had another job or whatever, but it started with the side hustle, you know, picking up small tax returns, picking up, things that I can handle on the side. And while I was learning and growing that tax foundation, um, so I kind of got off on a tangent, but it's I think I'm a true believer that anything is possible. You have to have the will. You have to be everybody. It's so cliche, but it's true. You have to work hard. There's no such. I mean, an overnight success. People look at me and look at you. Have a CPA firm. They like my office. It's a nice office. We built out a nice office,
Yeah.
and I'm a 10-year overnight success, right? Um,
The people that have been in it, have done it, can recognize all the hard work that you've put into it, because there is no overnight success unless you were handed something or you got lucky. That's pretty much it, because I've been doing my stuff for a long time, and I've just now gotten to a point where I can sit back a little bit and say, okay, I have everything running efficiently.
Yeah.
I've hired people to help me out. I can run my business the way that I wanted to run it when I first started, but I didn't know how to do it or what to do. And one thing that I want to add to your list of stuff that needs to be done is marketing.
yeah,
Marketing is a huge
so
part
important.
of your business, because you can be great at something, but if nobody knows about it, how are you going to make money?
Yeah,
Who's going to come to you? People have to know about it. So I always think of this this part of a song from Jada Kiss
yeah,
with about this basketball player that's better than Jordan, but nobody knew about him. I mean, it's just, that's the reality of it. If you don't have the opportunity, maybe there was somebody that was better at basketball than Michael Jordan or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, maybe he didn't have the right coaching. Maybe he didn't have scouts come see him. Maybe he got injured or something like that. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, building your brand, letting people know how to contact you, when to contact you, being in their face and building that awareness, that's a huge part of being successful, in my opinion.
Huge. And being on all the time. No shortcuts to success. I'm gonna pull this out my business card holder. I know it's old school. I've got a QR generator too, but I carry a stack of business cards everywhere I go. I want everyone to know what I do. Just being out there, and it's you hit it. You hit it on the head. It's just so true. The marketing and then getting yourself out there and the exposure is so important. Um, I'm there. I've read so many stories of who was a real success behind. You probably never haven't heard of many of the inventors, but the person who actually put the product out there got it exposed, like the McDonald's story. I don't know if you saw that
Yes.
documentary.
Yeah, that's definitely
It's
one of them.
you got to be out there, and maybe the goal is always to be something as large as McDonald's, right? Always be as big, always be ambitious. I've got large goals, I've got big dreams, but it's got to start somewhere. Everybody started small at one point, so just getting your product out there, always being aware, letting everybody and anybody you meet with, what do you do? What's your profession? I just met somebody. I took my car in for a recall yesterday, and I left a business card at the service rep's desk. As I walked out, I said, "You know what? He was just a nice guy. I'm going to throw my business card and give him my phone number in case he's got to call me." And then when I went back to the dealership, all of a sudden he's got all his side hustle in real estate. And he said, "Man, I've been looking for a CPA. He's like, do you know much about real estate?" I was just going to get my car fixed,
Yeah.
So you just never know where you might run into somebody. You know, reputation is so important. Just just being out there, getting out there, like you're saying.
Yeah, I agree. You never know when your next opportunity is. You talk to somebody and then something triggers and they're like, "Oh yeah, I need that," or I have this issue and I just haven't gotten around to doing it or whatever. That's just
Yeah,
how it is.
yeah.
All right, so why don't you give us your contact information again?
Yeah, one more time. Again, you can reach me at 248-956-1812. 248-956-1812. Website is wjmcpa.com. William at wjmcpa.com. I'm all on all the social media platforms, WJMCPA. Google us, you'll find us. Should I post my QR code on the screen? No,
I think we can do that, right?
yeah. So
It'll happen later.
Yeah, it'll happen
so
later. We'll get that up later.
I shouldn't be too hard to find. I try to make myself available. Whether no such thing as a dumb question. How many times you hear that? Simple things, simple questions. It doesn't hurt to ask. Doesn't hurt to have a free tax return review, and just see what you might be missing. And it happens sometimes where you've got a great preparer and tax return looks solid, and there's nothing no recommendations I have, but majority of the time it's we find some area where we can help improving your taxes, and it just starts with making that phone call or that email to get a relationship started, get a conversation going, and I'm available. So.
Yeah, I agree. Should definitely contact Will, at least get a free review, see how he can help you, see where you're being inefficient at, and kind of go from there. That way, I always tell people, don't make decisions based on what you think you know. Find out and then make a decision based off that, because you don't know what you know and what you don't know. So again, thank you again for being here with me on Joe Knows. This is Will Mansour. If you need any estate planning services or you have any questions, you can always contact me. I offer free consultations as well. Uh, my phone number is 248-914-8146. And my email address is joe@dalloestateplanning.com. You can always contact me and I'll get back to you when I get a chance to contact you for answering your questions. And that's our last episode of Joe Knows today. Thank you again, Will, for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. It was awesome. Thank you.